So I just got off a Zoom call, and a few of the other people I was on the Zoom call with sort of pointed out that I looked better than they did on the call, and that maybe they should be wearing makeup or whatever at an early morning home call. And I figured, since everybody else is working from home right now with the coronavirus and we're all on our virtual calls, maybe you could use some tips on how to look a little bit better when you're doing the teleconferencing. So I figured I'd just do this kind of fast and loose. My husband's here. So we're going to go to the laptop and sort of talk about our first tip here. So, and if this is overly YouTube-y, I apologize. I'm doing my best. All right, so I'm going to hit record here so that you can all see this. Oh, this looks so lovely right here. So, hi, Ryan. All right, so whatever devil made this laptop put the camera way down here. So this is all up. You can see all of my chin. So lovely. And I'm a little off center. So we're gonna start by, you want your camera to be at eye level. So for me, I can do something like this. Oh, well. That's not very effective either. But I'll come up a bit so that then I'm at eye level as close as I can get it. Now, this is kind of a convenient setup, but if you don't have a hutch, you can always put it up on books. So the next thing is you can still see my keyboard here. So we need to ooh, there went my screen. Damn touchscreen. Okay. All right, we're recording again. All right, so I'm gonna point this up a little bit so that you can't see my laptop anymore. And honestly, I need my laptop to come down a little. What you really wanna shoot for is sort of one of these jobs, right? The thing that's closest to the lens is the thing that's going to be the biggest. And in this case, you want that to be your head. You wanna try to get the camera, there we go, so that you can make eye contact with it. And then it looks like you're actually talking to people. Now, if you look, I'm holding this thing at a really weird angle. This is weird. But it looks much better on camera on my computer. So play with this. Turn on your video and play with where you want it to be. Now, don't do the selfie thing. This is horrifying, and everyone's gonna wonder why your laptop's on the ceiling. So try to get yourself in the middle of the frame. So not way down here, not way up here, in the middle. You want to be reasonably close, not too close, not too far. And you want it kind of at eye level. So that's your first pro tip, is play with your camera and really try to get it up. All right. All right, so the second tip is about light. And Ryan, you're gonna have to tell me a little bit about what the light's looking like. I can see it here, but I can't really see what you're seeing.
So what we're seeing right now is horrendous backlight. This is exactly the wrong shot that you don't actually want at all.
So this is great because it's horrendous backlight. So I look like I'm literally coming out of the pearly gates.
Yes.
And
it's a blown out window behind your head.
You probably can't see my features.
Well, we got enough light in here that you can see some features, but it's dim.
Okay, so what if you come over here to the other side of me?
Watch this. Heaven outside. The Wi-Fi here.
Does that look better?
Looks a lot better.
Okay, so we've got a big light source behind me. There is some light over here, and there's some light from my screen. Now, you're gonna wanna remember that when you have your laptop open, you're gonna have light from your screen showing on your face.
Particularly your glasses.
Particularly your glasses, but we're gonna forgive everybody for glass glare. So you probably want to make sure that you don't have a window behind you or anything super ugly. I know a lot of people are doing this from their sofas, and I'm seeing a lot of sofas that the back of the sofa is kind of here, and then we've got some curtains or some walls or some random stuff. So, and I know we're all kind of trying to make do, but let me show you what I've got set up for my Skype calls and why I look so good on my calls.
All right.
All right. Okay, so this is my home office. I don't work out of it very frequently. Ryan works out of it more than I do. I prefer my office, but in the time of Corona, this is what we do. So I wanted to show you my setup. which is interesting because it's not at a laptop, but a lot of these tips still apply. All right, so, and we'll just turn on, we've got this screen here recording, so you can see Ryan in the background. Hi, Ryan.
Hi.
You probably maybe don't need to record the screen, but whatever. Okay, so this would be me. You can see the windows open. Ryan, can you show that? Yeah, okay. Left is right and right is left. Camera, it's got mirror on it, which is just offensive.
It makes it easier for you to adjust yourself.
Okay, so yeah, the window's open, which isn't great because you can see like I'm all white. Oh, good, I'm not even in focus anymore. Woohoo, that's fun. Okay. So once I close the window, look at that. Like I have a nice light. Now I've set up a couple of things. First off, I have light from my screen. So if I change, it's this side. There we go, it's this side. So if I change this from, it's like a big white, it's my email, to something darker, you can see that it's darker. Like it changes the color. So whatever color of light is on my other monitor is actually affecting me. So this is my first light source. It's right there. It's nice and white. All right, my second source is back in the corner. I'm bouncing it off the wall. So it's not at my face. And what this does is it makes it softer and bigger. And there's some physics here. It's called the inverse square law and blah, 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 but you don't care. I did notice that on this camera that I have here, there's a bit of a flare. So Ryan, can you come up nice and close? So we put a little piece of gaff tape here just to kind of screen the lens and keep it from flaring too badly. So that's what we've got going on. Now you'll notice my camera is slightly above my eye level. I don't know, are you close enough to show that? Maybe that's a side shot thing.
You see it? I mean, I can.
I'm gonna micromanage this because I can.
That's fine.
Okay, so yeah, so my camera's slightly above eye level, but it's also angled down just a little bit. So then when I sit here and I have a conversation with someone, I lean forward. And now, like, you know, it doesn't have to be right in the middle. Being over here is a little okay. Being over here is a little okay. You can kind of move around. I can look over here. I do try to, as much as I can, make eye contact with the onboard camera as if that was the other person. But that's not a thing that most people do. You tend to look at yourself or whoever's talking on the screen. And so that's what you've got going on. Hopefully that wasn't too rambly. And there were some tips. I'm gonna shoot a few still photos of us with the laptop in various places to show you how we got that camera that's really low up high on the laptop. And then, you know, for most of you where your lens is kind of near the top of the screen, you don't have to go quite as high as I do. And whoever designed that camera in that computer, you are the devil. All right, bye. Few last etiquette tips. The first one is some of you are on older laptops or have older phones or cameras. And so when you speak and other people are speaking, there's feedback from your speakers into your microphone. And the easiest way to solve this is with a pair of headphones. Now, ideally you get those fancy ones that have the like microphone in it. But even if you don't have that, just regular headphones will help eliminate that feedback problem. It'll also, if there's a little microphone here, if it's closer to your face, we will hear you better. And we will pick up less background noise, less of the kids in the back, less of the dogs, less of the chaos from the garbage truck. So if you have a pair of headphones, they don't have to be that fancy, but that's really good. The other thing that you should do when you're in one of these calls, particularly if there's more than 3 people on the call, is when it's not your turn to speak or you're not speaking, please mute yourself. If you cough, if you slide your glass across the table, if there's a dog or a garbage truck or something, generally the camera switches or the view switches to you and your audio becomes very prominent. And so it's just considered polite. It's sort of like just mute yourself and then unmute yourself. So last few tips that I could think of. I'm sure there's a million more. Feel free to tell me all of the mistakes I made. All right, bye.